With the Muffler Ryan Bruckner, I'm Mike Big Tobacco Ryan, and this is my intro. It is a Friday night as we record, and I am feeling all right. You all right there? My wife and kids do, in fact, exist. Ryan, your former family is now my current family because I won a WrestleMania bet. I mean, I'm a homeowner now, man.
Welcome to the film starring professional wrestlers experience. I'm formerly Ryan the Muffler Bruckner, now known as the Homeless Experience.
I can't hear you. Say that again. You were rebranding now? I couldn't hear you. You gotta bring up the energy just a little bit, okay? Please.
I don't have the strength
how'd
to
you
bring
get
up
here?
the...
How'd you get here from Skid Row to the Pomona Valley?
Do you really want
You're
to
driving
know?
to me now, or however, I mean, you're
traversing
to me now?
I did jump the turnstile at Union Station, and, there's...
Did you hitch it?
No, I took the train.
Oh, the train.
The
I
metro.
thought you just hopped it on your way on foot, eastbound to the Pomona
Yeah,
Valley.
I hopped the...
I'm just picturing you like us, like...
Man, you have a wife and kids, but it still didn't help you find a clue.
Oh, man. No, I just picture you, running, walking, adjacent to like the 10 freeway
Like just walking the tracks.
with your hitching stick.
I guess I'm going to have to do that on the way back.
Dude, you could have just moved into my studio apartment, though, man. Like, I mean, we could have done just like a complete role reversal here.
I never welch on a bet.
Yeah, I know, but like the bet you proposed, it's like, okay, fine, I'm in. Most correct picks at WrestleMania 35. I get to take over your family and your lifestyle, your job. Then, like, why wouldn't you, naturally, the natural fit is, then you become me. And you chose, like, you'd rather live in Skid Row.
I've heard good things. They have really good Wi-Fi in Skid Row. I was able to stream the Superstar Shake-Up this last week. That was cool. It's not all that bad.
Is it free Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's free Wi-Fi.
Just make that up.
Go.
Is Skid Row known for just
Maybe if
having
you'd
an
come
affordable-
visit me. And by the way, I saw you and Chris driving by pointing at me. You could have stopped and at least, taken a seat under my tarp.
We look like pretty common dudes in L.A., man. I would never do that. I've been too busy trying to raise a family. Sorry, I don't have
I know
time
your Camry.
for your games.
I know your Camry.
You feeling okay, though?
Or you drive a Corolla, right?
Well, if I'm lucky, I'll inherit my mother's 2005 Camry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're actually proposing this a lifetime
So what are you going to
ago.
do with your Corolla?
Give it to
Can
my
I
niece,
live? Can I?
Kylie. No!
I can't
Absolutely
live in,
not.
I can't
You
live
have-
in it.
Dude, where are you going to park it?
Can I use it as a toilet?
Oh, that's at least more practical. What's your strategy there? All right, so the first one you're going to do is you're going to unplug the gas cap and you're going to poop right into the hole.
Just go in there and shit. Does it have a moonroof?
I swear to God, I saw this homeless guy that was literally peeing inside a van.
Oh, you know Ian? He always does that, man.
This was like 3 days ago. I had to go back to my apartment to pick up some stuff. And it was like his pee hole penetrated the gas, like the little plastic thing. Like he was peeing inside. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I got a good look. I was like, oh my God.
Maybe he thought it was a toilet. That's what Ian does. He thinks lots of things are a toilet. He thought I was a toilet.
Man, your eyes are pink as the artist Pink.
Is that a side effect of Hep C? Because I fell asleep on a hypodermic needle.
Dude, they don't call it the typhus zone for nothing. That's why maybe you look kind of loopy.
Well, at least I want to say thank you for letting me take a shower here.
Oh, yeah. Well, my pleasure. Pleasure. Did you use the bidet there, though?
I haven't eaten in weeks, so didn't have to shit.
All right. I just need to know what I need to Lysol wipe down. That's all. So could you just tell me exactly what you came in contact with? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, bro. All right.
You're broing me now?
I know you bought the bathroom mat. You bought the little caddy thing that the wife puts all of her toiletries on and it fucking falls every night. The little thing, you stick them on the wall there. I know you tiled that bathroom floor. I was there when you did it, and it was actually a bonding experience. So I know this is weird, but I'm just saying, for the sake of my child, I need to disinfect, like that chair's gone. The chair you're sitting on, it's gone. So I hope you weren't too attached.
We
did discuss
how is your child? Would have been the color and consistency of his bowel movements.
He does this thing where he grabs on my glasses and he puts them on and he goes, I'm daddy, look at me. It's just so, he's just so happy. He's just got this happy disposition, Well, you know. I mean,
So on WrestleMania, were you just celebrating that you were going to be able to come here and send me off?
No, I was nervous. I was concerned for you, but you seem to be adjusting well, like your body. You seem to be picking up some antibodies and stuff like that, some antigens.
I could really use some antibiotics, if you've got any.
IV or oral?
Either.
Yeah. I could set you up with like a peripheral real quick. I got some Intracan needles, some claves, so I could hook you up with like at least some hydration. What you look like you need some D5LR and maybe just a little bit of Dapto, man.
How much does that go for on the street? Because I could really use
a 30cc syringe of daptomycin or Cubicin, if you will, on the black market. I would say $150 a pop.
Nice.
So I don't know, dude. You'll be fine. You don't need it's probably all mental, and you're probably this is a placebo thing. You've heard of it being called the typhus zone. I mean, the air quality is just as bad there as it is anywhere else in LA. And you're probably meeting some really cool, interesting people. Like some of these guys, man, they got it made. Like their quarters are better than mine. And I know why you chose Skid Row over my apartment, And, I'm always...
Parking's better.
Before this bet.
Definitely better parking.
Better parking,
No gas leaks.
I can't... Before this bet, of course, I walk into the 7-Eleven, there's a tent. I can't, help but, every time think... Save me a spot, will you? For some reason. And I haven't thought that now in 2 weeks, so it's a good... So I was stressed and I was a little nervous at first because it is an adjustment. It is a change. So let's think about me here. You're doing fine. I think you're kind of hamming it up a little bit, but your eyes, man. Ooh, oh boy.
Do you have any ham?
Maybe you're just malnourished.
I haven't
Are you
eaten
just
in
not
weeks,
good,
man?
Ryan, you're a charming guy. I thought you could get at least $20 a day panhandling, you're just not trying. Are you you're setting up your quarters right now and stuff?
I guess I got to find a good corner because
Anyway,
people keep kicking me out of the spots I try to panhandle.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't built a community yet.
I haven't.
No.
Ian just pissed on me.
Yeah.
That's it. When I asked him, where's the good corners for panhandling, he took a piss.
Wow.
And that's when I met him. And that's how I know that he's the guy that was peeing on the van.
God, this is worse than sleepaway camp, man. Because it's, for you, it's eternal. But, bright side, what's eternity now for you or in your life? I mean, the way you're going.
Are you saying I'm going to die?
9 months?
You saying I'm going to die in 9 months?
I'm saying just hang on to your cell phone, okay? Are you charging it? Is there a docking station for you to charge your phone? Because you said there's great Wi-Fi, but I would like to be able to access you.
Sometimes I can use the charging station at Starbucks, so I can get in there for 2 minutes before they kick me out. So,
but all right, back to me. A lot of stress. It is nice to have central air, though. I'm doing chores, so I'm feeling good. I'm getting up at a pretty regular schedule. I'm glad we made this bet when your child. Is almost 2, solid year and a half here. So he has pretty regular sleeping habits. So I'm pretty fortunate to just fall into that. The foot rubs have been great. So I feel I'm sorry, a bet's a bet, and this is WrestleMania 35. Like, I feel good, and I feel like I'm doing good. I mean, I'm being responsible. I'm going to work. I'm going to your job on time.
How are the girls?
The girls are great. They're a delight. They laugh at all my jokes. They're present when I talk, Now, but they're sweet because they still talk about you. I mean, I laid out what happened.
Did you kill him?
And it was a little awkward at first, but then they saw me taking down all your stuff on your cubicle. I'm putting up Angel stuff,
Oh, God.
And they're like, really? We're like, okay, does he have a cell phone? Have any of the gals called you yet? Because
no, they don't care.
Oh, I told them he's got a cell phone on, but I don't know. Just please keep your phone charged, okay? But
I tried.
Back to Owen. You said you asked me if I what is his poop color and consistency is.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up on that.
Well, what is it?
Brown.
It was brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a change.
Here's the thing. It
used to be yellow.
Oh. Well, I've been feeding him Lowry's.
Oh, okay. Like prime rib every night?
Yeah.
You make it?
No. Yes.
Things have changed. What about Dusty? Is he getting his CBD drops?
I haven't missed a dose, man. That dog is high as a Georgia pine right now, man.
That's good. That's good.
He's higher than I am because I am now a responsible homeowner. I'm an adult.
You've been keeping up with those payments.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to this. Well, yeah, I will. Of course I will. I mean, that's what the man of the houses does. They pay for the bills. They open the envelopes. They sign with a ballpoint pen. They lick the envelope and they put it in the mailbox and they pay bills.
It's automatic bill pay. You don't have to worry about it.
Been meal prepping a little bit.
What does Cassie put in your lunches?
Oh gosh. Okay, first off, a lot of times just leftovers from dinner. We had osobuco the other day.
Osobuco?
She prepares like this charcuterie.
Does she
just to snack, like in Tupperware, just to snack throughout the day?
Is she using my charcuterie board?
I believe you mean our charcuterie board. It's yours too, man.
Did you guys have a party for the first episode?
If you want the board, just take the board. Fine, take the charcuterie board.
I don't have any food
she
to
puts
put
it.
on
I'm going to work, so I put it in Tupperware. I don't bring the board. If you want the charcuterie board, then just take it, man.
Did you guys have a party on the Game of Thrones first episode?
She wanted to, but I was like, hey, hun, I just want to focus on it, Maybe even put the subtitles on and just really watch it. Because, if you invite 10 people, because we had a list of 10 to 12 people, it was really fun. Sue was going to bring a charcuterie board with a kielbasa sausage, and it's like a reek joke, a Theon Greyjoy joke. But I just, it'd be fun. We had a list of like 12 guests. We're like, but what if we just watch together, maybe pop some popcorn and just watch and listen. And I got a lot out of that episode. Ryan, were you able to watch it on? Is there any?
I went to a TV store.
And
I watched it with no sound, just through the window. The TV store, like some sad
just
movie
like some sad movie out of 1965.
Yeah,
there's like a store with 12 tube televisions, and you're just wow. Life's sure going on without me. They should bring that scene back. That scene never happens anymore in movies.
Well, it happens in my life.
She's just
been doing chores,
just a doll, and we
keeping up with the floors.
Doing chores. I was gonna get to the floors. Sorry, I'm kind of letting those go a little bit. Chores, taking the trash out.
You haven't mopped.
I'm gonna get to that probably as soon as I disinfect everything that you've come in contact with. Sometimes when I start cleaning, I get that energy going. So I might, as soon as we ask you politely to leave, I'm gonna tackle the floors for sure.
Walk me through what that looks like. My wood floors, your wood floors.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
How are you gonna clean them?
I'm gonna get it. Our mop. and I'm going to dump that sucker in a big old bucket, and I'm going to load it up with pine sol, and then load it up with more pine, maybe a little, no water. And then I'm just gonna clean that. I'm gonna go deep cleaning here. So you got it, no problem. Hey, my treat.
Pine sol on these true wood floors.
It's pine sol.
Murphy's oil soap, you son of a bitch!
It's pine. It's pine.
It's
pine
Murphy's
means wood.
Oil soap.
Murphy's what?
Get the hell out of my house!
What the heck?
Get
is
out!
Murphy.
Get out!
This is my house now, and
Get
I'm
out!
back.
Get out! You don't do that to my floors!
Hi. Ow! Ow! My clap. Get the hell out!
Well, let's see here. Viking experience, huh? You know, oh God, this isn't working. Hey, Mike, come back. Come back. Mike. Sorry.
Thanks, man. I left my keys in here. Jeez.
I tried to do the podcast without you, but I tried to talk about the Viking experience, but
You mean the War Raiders?
Across the street,
God,
neighbors.
They were not only was the party wrapping up across the street and everybody's on their patio.
Oh God.
But they parked in front of your house. I was like, it's a bit. Like I was that close. I was just like standing out there.
Oh
like,
God.
They went back inside, dude. Or it got awkward. Because I'm yelling like, hey, my clavicle, no.
That's so embarrassing. Oh God.
Hi, he's not. He's just.
They're like, he's violent. Oh no.
Get the fuck out of my house. Dude, outside, like 7 people.
I
On
just
the
looked.
patio,
I just looked at people
and they
looking
parked
inside.
behind my car. And you know I ain't parking across the street, man.
God.
I like to choose the closest spot in front of my old house. Oh.
You told them it was a bit.
No, I didn't, because they were still across the street. They were afraid to cross the street to get to their car.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So I was like about to, but I didn't want to also like, I didn't know what to say. Like, oh, Yehola!
That was horribly embarrassing.
This is the best moment of my life.
Yeah, I know.
Well, how do you think I'm just standing out there with my freaking hands on my hips, just like tapping myself, like, it's for a podcast. I should have just said like, it's for a.
Oh God.
Tell him to. What are you gonna tell? I'll tell
We
you
totally broke kayfabe here.
I'm
just
sorry.
because
That was gnarly, man.
Yeah.
I know. I had a whole.
I mean, okay,
Hey,
for the
if
listening
Bret Hart
audience,
breaks kayfabe, I'm breaking kayfabe, man.
open the goddamn door to throw him out, and I just see my neighbors
Linda.
just like on their
We'll see
porch.
you next tea time. Great
staring.
book club. Great book club.
Oh God.
You made eye contact with him. Oh, no. You locked eyes.
I mean, I don't have my glasses on, but I definitely saw people
You
on
didn't
their
break
porch.
character, man. You were like, get the Robin.
Fuck out. I even kicked your butt.
And I was like, what are you doing? This is so shocking. And they probably thought it was real.
Yeah, well,
That just means we're good
we're good.
actors, dude.
We're good.
You're just a really good actor. You're just like, I hate Austin. I hate Austin. I hate Austin.
Oh man.
I
didn't
worse
even-
now than you did when you were living in Skid Row.
I didn't even consider that to be a possibility.
I didn't either.
I just think that I live on my own island sometimes.
I thought maybe we should have recorded in the side bedroom. A, because I think the sound quality is a little bit better in there. But B, just to use the door angle a little bit better. But it had nothing to do with awareness of your neighbors. You know, it was all about maybe it'll be a little more practical if I don't have to walk as far or something like that. I wasn't even thinking of that either. Dude, it's like 8 o'clock on a Friday. There's people outside.
It's Good Friday.
Oh, man.
Jesus died.
I don't know. I think that's pretty. Do you know? So not right across the street, but you saw the lights on it. So you knew which house, right?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Are you thinking about going over there and do you know them?
Yes. They have two lovely small children, and I hope they're in bed.
Okay. But they're guests, though. That's what you got to think about.
I don't know them.
And they're the ones that parked across the street.
Oh, God.
And they're the ones that were just like,
Imagine
we'll
if
hang
they-
out on the pad. We're just going to wrap up this conversation.
Imagine if they called the cops.
I'm going to keep rolling.
Yeah, officer, it's a bit.
Oh, my gosh.
We got the microphones.
That happened on a Weekend Utopian. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
we're at the
when you
tennis
were
courts at
doing
Villa
the
Park
tennis
High
court
School,
thing.
and I was thrown across the chain link fence. Someone called the police. And they thought I was actually. So then we
That's
used
such
the
a
actual,
Villa Park thing to do,
Oh,
though.
God, it's like, get a
What
life.
a bunch of losers.
Get a life. Like, there's one dude with a camera. He's just a super bully. Like, if you could see the guy that was filming, too, you'd be like, he does not fit the profile of what a bully would be doing, filming another guy getting beat up in real life. But we used the actual cop cars in the episode, so it actually kind of paid off. And they didn't even, they were like, you guys are filming, right? It's like, Villa Park police have nothing to do. That'd be like the
Do
best
they
job
have
ever.
their own PD?
Yeah.
Is there a
Villa
where
Park.
the hell is the Villa Park City Hall, man?
It's by the Ralphs. You know where that Ralph's is in that shopping center?
Yeah.
You ever go to Rockwell's?
No.
There's a new Dunkin' Donuts now
Yeah, I know where the
on
Dunkin'
top
Donuts
of a Chase
is.
Bank or below it. I don't know. I haven't gone. Dunkin' Donuts, great donuts, great coffee, terrible breakfast sandwiches. Some of the worst I've ever had in my entire life.
They're kind of like on par with Jack in the Box sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches.
I'll take a Jack in the Box breakfast sandwich any day of.
God,
Dude, that was great.
I can't do anything now.
No, come on.
I
The
just can't go on.
We're
with
gonna
my
listen back and we'll be like, we are not good actors.
night. We fooled them.
I don't.
I saw those looks.
I don't. You saw some looks
I saw some
because I thought I was just a little
looks.
paranoid. Oh,
I just really hope you diffuse the situation.
go peek and see if they're still on the patio. Do you want me to peek?
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, go look to see if they're still on the patio.
I'm taking the mic.
taking
over
Mike.
there.
Oh, and it's a black SUV. So right behind my Toyota Corolla, aforementioned, is it still there?
It's gone.
All right, they're gone. If you're calling the police, you
People
stick around.
aren't looking into our house.
We did all the yelling inside. No, we didn't. Dude, but in the moment, though, man, we're just like, we have a scene to do.
Oh God. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, everybody.
I just picture you before bed and your eyes are just wide open. You're going, oh, God.
Oh man.
And they saw you bring your child in like 12 minutes ago. You're just like this sweet, happy guy. Like, yeah, he had a great day in Palm Springs. Get out!
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I've never wanted to be like the dad that's like, you got to be scared of him. He yells a lot.
Dude, what if you just become super misunderstood? It's hilarious.
It's
because
like
you
a
couldn't
Curb
be
Your Enthusiasm episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wasn't there like an episode where they think he's beating his wife?
Yeah, it was the one where he refused. Well, he was a brat that day, and he was doing things that you would never do. He refused to take his shoes off at the party, right?
Yeah.
And then he called someone the C word, right? Was that the same episode, or I'm mixing it up? I
don't
think he said
remember.
cunt, and he's like, cunt is something you say when someone's not acting manly.
I think he was like pretending to beat her up in the car.
No, it was just so it was just the shoes.
Yeah.
And because he was wearing his shoes, he broke a lamp. right? So it was all the shoes based. So they were kicked out. Like Larry,
Yeah.
you have to leave. And in their car, he does a fake kind of slap.
Yeah.
Because he was like, yeah, would you like it? Yeah, they're just play acting, It's like, and Cheryl's like, oh, no, Larry. It's like, oh, what a monster. He hits it. What?
Oh, God. Cassie.
Oh, gosh.
Cassie, come here. This is going to be your first
Oh, wow.
foray into the
Something
podcast.
very interesting happened, Cassie. I'm just
So
gonna-
we were
I'm just
doing
gonna
our
listen.
we were
I'm
doing
not
our
gonna say a
bit.
word.
I'm sure you heard me throw Mike out.
Yes, I did.
Who was louder, me
I
or
was putting our son to bed at the time.
who was loud?
Did he wake up when I yelled?
He was still awake.
Okay. Did he act scared when I yelled?
It was dark.
Okay, that's a no.
Well-
That's no.
So
That's
I
no.
grab him, I take him over, I throw him out of the front door. I say, "Get the fuck out!"
And he opened the door.
And I open the
very
door,
early,
and I
very
see
early.
our neighbors on their porch, horrified, looking into our house, and their guests who were parked right in front of our house
Yeah.
saw the whole
Oh,
thing.
this is true, Cassie.
And they think like I'm a big, angry
And then I'm just standing out there.
rageaholic.
Then I'm just standing out there, tapping my toes, like as they're thinking about crossing the street to their car, which is behind mine, and they choose not to. And I'm just standing out there, like he'll let me back in. He does the. I was like seconds away, like it's a bit, but I didn't know what to say. I was like this. I was frozen, just kind of like, oh, he's just. Yeah, we're just.
I'm mortified.
Are these the neighbors across the street with two young kids?
All right.
Yeah.
Cassie. Due north, boom, hanging westbound.
Yeah.
House.
Orange House.
Yeah.
They're some of the newer ones. They don't know us.
They're the
They don't
newer
know the
ones.
shenanigans that we get up to.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Like we not well,
Oh wow.
but like we've talked to them. We went to the same Christmas party.
Cassie, this is bad. Okay, so
Do I need
what?
to go out there, bring them a bottle of wine?
Well, here, no.
Then they're
That
gonna
would-
think like
Then you're definitely gonna think he's an abusive man.
no, that like I'm
Yeah,
an abusive.
Sometimes he just goes off the
Husband.
handle a little bit. We call it part of his charm.
Well, this is
Like moments after you like
I just,
bang your head against the wall, like because you're not wearing your glasses,
we call this shut up juice. I bring it to
oh, you mean shut up, Juice?
I bring it to every neighbor when they hear him beat me up. It's called a shut up juice.
Give me a bang. It's just I could never picture you anywhere near that scenario unless it's totally in
It was
sarcasm.
it was a total Curb Your
Now,
Enthusiasm
I did
moment.
say like I couldn't really think of anything like funny to say typically, right? So I was just yelling violently and screaming. I didn't have like any lines. So from my end, I think it felt like I was shocked and being thrown out of the house. I did say you're touching my clavicle or something. That's not something someone
I
would
kicked his
say.
butt. I actually just kicked him out, and I said, "Get the fuck out!"
Are
Oh
you
God.
actually recording right
Yeah. No, we just.
Oh yeah, this is your introduction to the
Yeah.
podcast. This is a special moment though. Like I've never seen Ryan.
Putting the microphone in your face.
Oh, if it
when
picks
I
up,
asked
you're
you
in
questions.
you're in Chris position. Can we do like a gorilla position, but it's Chris? It picks
Yeah,
up just fine.
You're in the Chris position.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. I just thought you should know if you get concerned looks tomorrow. It's
So
my
we
fault.
were like, did that sound like we were just they're being loud on the podcast, loud, or like wow they are yelling right now?
No, I mean, I was hoping that you guys weren't going to be doing multiple takes because it was loud for our
Oh, we
house,
nailed it.
But I don't know that it was so loud that 3 houses over they heard it.
Oh, they heard it. The door was
They-
wide open.
Oh,
They were on their porch, and
they-
I made eye contact.
With cat.
just when you opened the door, like the whole time you guys were shouting.
When I opened the door and I said, "Get the fuck out," and I kicked his butt.
I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about more Raiders, man. You're just thinking about your neighbors the whole time, like, oh God. Cassie, he's not going to fall asleep tonight. I could just tell. Right? He's going to be lying in bed, eyes agape all night going, "Oh God." So what do we do here? What's phase 2? I mean, do we go across the street? Do we apologize?
I'm just going to pretend like it never happened.
Okay. I like that strategy as well.
That's how you like to live your life. Anytime there's potential conflict, you just like to pretend
Okay.
it never happened.
Fine, do that, but like set up a scenario where you're like washing the car outside regularly, or you're doing yard work in the front yard regularly, so the chance presents itself to like say something like, "Hey, sorry about
It would have to
overacting.
happen tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably nothing. I just felt I didn't even knew that you noticed. I just felt weird because I got thrown out of the house and then I'm just standing out there.
No, but I
Just
did
like,
it. And
dude,
I'm
why
just
doesn't he leave?
"Ah."
He's been
I
kicked out.
didn't
He's
consider
staying.
that there would be other people
If he hovers
out there hearing me.
if
and
he hovers the front door, because he's been removed from this house and he's still there. If he hovers for 2 more minutes, we're calling the police, Karen. You know, like that's the vibe I was getting. Like they weren't crossing the street. It was time to go. They stayed on the patio longer than they had intended.
Oh, God.
Keys were shaking. You know, it's like, oh boy, pause. Something's happening across the street.
Pomona for you.
Yeah.
I think a solution that could present itself here is that
need a
we just
solution.
go outside and like hug,
That's a
and then people will see that
Cassie. Put
We're
those.
friends.
Those are my armpit pads. Put
Yeah,
those down.
I'm very
Those are my armpit tampons, which I haven't worn yet. I got pitter pads, and
you brought them last time.
I know, but I've never mentioned them yet. I haven't worn them yet. But you know what? I switched to a one of those creamy, the white colored deodorants. You know, with the flaky white stuff. It's working pretty well.
Well, you're wearing a dark
powder
shirt
base.
too, so
Yeah, but no,
you know.
I'm just take my word for it.
But you know, you should
Sure.
wear dark shirts.
Sure.
You should wear dark shirts.
I only wear grays around you. Like if I'm okay.
You only own grays.
All right, what's the solution?
Dark shirts, and then
No,
you can
the
see.
solution to our we
We
have
go
a bigger
out-
issue. There's a bigger issue than my armpits.
We go outside and hug.
All right.
So people can see that it was a bit.
We are in the wake of this event. What would you call it? Incident, I guess. So
Yeah.
they're probably still peeking through their windows just to see, because they saw
Should
that
we
you
ca-
eventually
They've
invited me
dialed
back
911
in,
and
you
they're
were like
about
all
to dial
friendly.
1.
Yeah, and you were all friendly, like, "Hey, come on back in." It's like, wow, he's crazy. You were all friendly when they're like, "Okay, come on back." Like if they heard that, then like, oh boy. Whew. Told you we should have lived in Claremont. All right, so we are not going to make it outside. Nope, we moved a chair, and I have a little more slack, and we are outside. At least I am, and Ryan is on his way. Watch the dog.
We're walking outside.
Okay, so we are establishing that we're holding
There are
microphones.
There are no neighbors
People
watching
recording
us.
a podcast hold microphones. So if they are peeking
We're
at us,
we're out here.
we're hugging with
just
our
hugging.
microphones because this was all part of a bit.
Nobody.
For a podcast that 87 people listened to. Their lights are on, man. Their lights are on. For all we know, they
Yeah.
might be on the patio, just kind of peeking behind.
They.
one of the hedges
I just
there.
don't think they care. But and I'm
Ryan.
looking at other neighbors. No, doesn't seem to care.
Let me tell you something, Ryan.
All right,
I love you, man.
hug.
Mwah. And you got these new lights out in your front yard next to
Yeah.
all this decomposed granite.
That freaking one.
The reflection of
hasn't
these
turned on.
lights are rad.
$3.99
There's
at
literally
Lowe's.
no. They're hiding. They're hiding. All their lights are on, and you can't see any people back there. Okay, I think they saw us though.
I mean, at least we put it out there into the universe. Well, back to business. I did want to ask you for your review of Elias's WrestleMania segment.
I loved it. It was way too long. I think they could have cut the "I am every member of the band. I'm the drummer." It was kind of funny, I guess. He plays the piano, but what
without
do you
that,
think of the beginning of the?
without that, he wouldn't have been able to land the Cena wouldn't have been able to land
Yeah.
the joke of him playing with himself.
That's true.
I thought that was great. I loved seeing old school John Cena back.
Me too. That was the highlight.
Yeah,
That was
that
the
was
highlight.
maybe like out of like my top 5
That was
moments
awesome.
of that WrestleMania. That was probably number 3.
Oh, of that WrestleMania? I thought you were gonna say that was in your top like 5 moments of John Cena's career.
Of his career. I mean, he finally
Because we both respect.
he finally got people to love him.
Yeah, oh God, he was freaking over 2 Sundays ago, man. I respect John Cena, and I like John Cena as an actor and as a human being, but I don't revere him as a wrestler all that much. There's no like, oh, this John Cena match classic for me, and I'm sure there are a lot of great John Cena matches out there, but I'm not really. I haven't
3 years
familiarized.
ago, he was on a roll.
Yeah, and all of that work with the TV title, great stuff. But
The TV title,
television,
the U.S. title.
Oh,
There is no TV title. You fucking.
I'm a WCW guy. I've always has been. It's the same belt, kind of.
It's the U.S. That was from
Okay,
WCW.
fine. That's what I meant. Look, I just suffered a traumatic experience, man. I'm not thinking straight. The European Championship, that run, where he was just calling out everybody.
The Hardcore Championship. He was defending it 24/7.
Dude, I once saw a Hardcore Championship match at WrestleMania 2000 where that title changed hands a baker's dozen. And I believe Crash Holly won that night. With my obstructed view seats from WrestleMania 2000, one of my least favorite WrestleManias of all time, actually. The tag team TLC match was spectacular, as always. But I'm there, and I'm not feeling it. I'm at a WrestleMania, and it just felt like a house show. I had obstructed seats, but, anyway.
Did you really yell at your mom about that?
No, I went with friends this time.
Your mom paid for your ticket.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, because I hadn't graduated high school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But I drove.
I was bringing that up
Thanks, Mom.
because should we add a few to a lie?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mike's
Sure.
Superstar chart.
Yeah, I love the segment. That was just great. He's got an X factor.
So does that?
He's over, and I didn't.
So even
I like
it was
the
all about squashing him and humiliating him.
Absolutely.
You think he's still elevated? Because then the next
absolutely.
night on
and then
Raw,
it parlayed with the Undertaker.
The next night on Raw, the
And
Undertaker
I
beat
love
him
it.
up.
I love it. That was the only time I've been that surprised
All right.
Undertaker appearance. That was good though, right? Usually, okay.
Then-
When was the last time the Undertaker made a surprise appearance and it was good? Remember the freaking Raw anniversary?
For me, maybe when
It's
he
been a while.
showed up and kicked Brock Lesnar in the balls.
Okay, when was that?
That was kind of months after the streak was ended.
So that's 2015. You do the math, I think, around there.
Well, anyway, is the Undertaker better than Elias?
2014. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jeez. No.
The Undertaker's not better than
Oh,
Elias?
I'm sorry. No, I did you always phrase? Again, I'm not in my right mind. I'm still worried that they're like still looking. No, I think enough time has passed.
We hugged outside.
Yeah, no, come on.
That's good enough.
My reaction was, no, man. Like, of course, the Undertaker. How are you phrasing it?
Is the Undertaker better than Elias?
Yes.
Is he better than Kerry Von Erich?
Just come on, go up. At least start with
You could have just said yes or no.
yes,
Crush.
yes,
Farouk.
yes,
Kane.
yes,
Doink.
yes,
Jerry Lawler.
yes,
Bam Bam Bigelow.
yes,
Cactus Jack.
yes,
Earthquake.
yes.
Sid.
Oh God!
You
it's
think Sid's
always
better than the
Sid with
Undertaker?
me. No. So
You-
yes. No. You asked. Now you just asked me. Do I think Sid is better than the Undertaker?
Mankind.
Yes.
He's better than Mankind?
Undertaker's better than Mankind. Yes.
Eddie Guerrero.
No.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Do you Mankind or The Undertaker?
That's a tough one.
And you know what's
I'll
not...
go with Mankind because Undertaker didn't get thrown off the cage.
Isn't it? It's unfair that we get all the personas of Cactus Jack, but we don't get all the personas of The Undertaker because he was always called The Undertaker.
John Cena. Is he better than Elias?
Yes.
Is he better than Eddie Guerrero?
No.
Undertaker?
No.
Mankind?
No.
Sid.
Yes.
He's better than Sid.
Yes.
Okay. Hulk Hogan.
No. Yes. Just
Is
skip
he
like...
better? Is
just
he
skip
better?
like
Is
5.
Hulk Hogan better than Eddie Guerrero?
Yes.
Okay. He's at the top right now.
And which is number...
Number 10.
Whoa.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Put him right above Hulk Hogan.
Bret Hart.
Put him right above Macho Man.
Shawn
Wow.
Michaels.
Put him right below Macho Man. He's between Hogan and Macho Man.
Okay. Miss Elizabeth.
We got to run the table here.
So you want me to start at the bottom or the top?
Miss
Well, is she better than
Okay,
Elias?
yes. The
Is she
answer's
better
yes.
than Elias?
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth's better than Elias. Is she better than Texas Tornado?
No. Could we just... All right. God. Okay. I would like an amendment, though. I would like to... I get like 5 removals, right? Is that what we agreed on?
We did?
Start
Or
with
you're
Texas
just making
Tornado.
that up right now?
No, I think I said it every time.
So she's better than Carrie Von Erich?
Yes.
She's better than Crush?
Yes.
She's better than Farouk?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Doink?
No. Yes.
Jerry Lawler?
Yes.
Bam Bam Bigelow?
Yes.
Cactus Jack?
Yes.
Earthquake?
Yes.
Sid?
No.
All right. Dang.
Dang, we got Macho Man and Elizabeth. That kind of brings us to freaking going back to the boob tube to watch SCTV number 4, The Dark Side of the Ring, episode 1, The Match Made in Heaven, and episode 2, The Montreal Screwjob. And there are 6 episodes in this series, so I suppose this would be part 1 of 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's start with the match made in heaven. Linda Hogan.
Yeah, what?
Were you going to say she's hot?
Well, the way you said Linda Hogan, like the only thing that can follow this is hot or not. I don't know. Like,
Well, Hulk Hogan tweeted at the Twitter handle of Dark Side of the Ring, like, "Whoa, you really picked some, some people were saying a lot of inaccuracies on this documentary. I'm disappointed that you didn't get the facts straight."
I believe that.
And then they tweeted back at him. They were like, "Well, we contacted you numerous times to be a part of it, and you didn't.
Louise.
And you said no.
That's
But we'd love to work with you on a future project."
no.
And then he blocked them.
Oh God.
So he's pissed that she's involved. Wow. I was surprised that Bruce Pritchard had a palapa in his backyard.
Okay.
He has a pretty nice looking backyard.
Yeah.
Could throw a nice little TV tiki party.
This didn't. This was great, I guess, or whatever. But like, this was just, shit we already know set to shitty reenactments. It's kind of like Man on the Moon. It's like that's what. I didn't get any.
My total
Is this so? This is
conclusion
for
it
non-wrestling
is
fans.
It's like about the level of a WWE produced documentary. I wouldn't say I learned anything new. That's what I'm saying about it.
For this episode, not a thing. And I was
did
totally
learn-
reminded of
okay.
like a milquetoast scale down.
It's like a WWE produced documentary for the network.
Absolutely.
There's nothing
And like an average one.
nothing, no like raw nitty gritty stuff. I did learn that Lanny Poffo has a TV directly on his ceiling, so he could just jack it and look at the ceiling.
When was that? But wait, huh?
There's a part where they show. There's like the scene where they first show
What
Lanny
I like to
Poffo.
do
He's
is
laying
I
in bed.
Hoist. Sorry.
He's laying in bed, and he's watching like Macho Man matches.
Oh,
and his
yeah,
TV is on his ceiling.
Oh, they did. Oh, yeah, they do that. They had Razor Ramon watching.
Yeah,
Montreal
but he's like
Screwjob as well.
laying in bed,
I didn't pick up
and
on
his TV was on his ceiling. That was like my biggest takeaway.
When I masturbate, I like to go up and on.
And
Man,
it
this
was
sucks. I used to have a good genius, and I don't anymore.
you
gosh
have to do
darn
the
it.
Brothers Beverly. You have to do that poem.
Elizabeth was such a nice person and very
That's not
quick
bad.
to learn. Wrestlers do practical jokes that are cruel.
That was pretty good. You got it. You got it. It was pretty crazy to see Linda being interviewed from the house that Hulk Hogan used to live in.
Oh, yeah.
The house
Yeah.
from Hogan Knows
It's a
Best.
familiar look. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It's the same house. Of course. I was like, wow, this is... Because I liked her interview segments because it was like cozy and well lit and comfy, and I guess
Yeah.
that was the familiarity of that house.
One thing I'd say
subconsciously.
about this too is the pacing was so goddamn quick. They're like Macho Man's gimmick, Macho Man Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Elizabeth.
And that's what I didn't like about
they're
it.
just like
They
quick,
just
quick, quick,
hardly
quick, quick, quick.
touched on WrestleMania 7, and that's what bothered me more than anything. I mean, the incredible storytelling out of that event, like they hardly scratched the surface. I don't know how you could document that more, and maybe I'm just partial to it because I experienced it and I lived it, and I know what a emotional reaction it garnered from men and women alike. But doesn't it feel like they just kind of brushed over
Yeah.
it? Like
They
I was like,
really
oh my
just
god, this
pushed
should have
through
been
it.
10 minutes on that WrestleMania 7.
I wish each episode was like an hour and a half.
And we don't need
instead of-
backstory. We don't need to see a picture
under
of
an
Vince
hour.
McMahon holding a buoy in 1982, although that picture was awesome.
That was an amazing. That's
that
one of
picture
the other
was
highlight of it.
awesome.
He was jacked.
Wow. I'm so glad she found that picture. It was like, oh my God. Look at...
He has such a weird shaped body,
Didn't
though.
your stock for Linda like kind of like
Well, she said
rise because she found that picture and showed it to us?
that was good, but she also said something that was complete and total horse shit that kind of kills a lot of the credibility of this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
She said her job used to be to scrub the blood off of
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's boots.
Yeah, and Elizabeth
How
was doing
many-
it with Macho Man. They were doing it in tandem.
Besides WrestleMania 7, I can't even think of WWF matches where
With
there was blood
Absolutely.
and Hulk Hogan involved.
Absolutely. Like, and
She
the way she
wasn't
presented it, it was like it
scrubbing
was
shit.
on a nightly basis.
And they did
Yeah.
like a reenactment of like
Yeah,
some
scrubbing a
bloody
close-up of a
boots
yellow
getting
boot.
scrubbed. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? He was in any
Terrible.
brutal matches.
Terrible. The reenactments were a joke. I expected a lot better, man. This is like not good.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this. Like I would, if we. Well,
I'm hoping
I would
the next
watch
ones will be
yeah,
good. I mean, we're committed to watch all of them.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, I'm hyper. I know the story, but I just don't feel.
I
like
thought I was going to learn
I know,
some
I
more
just don't
intimate
feel-
details about the relationship.
like the vocabulary they're using here is not for non-wrestling fans, though. So I don't know who this is for.
yeah.
Will you give me my first, Cassie? Now give me my bag back. All right, now you're just messing around with my stuff. I know there's nothing like bad in there, and I'm just
You're afraid I'm going to
anytime.
find your
what's that? I
child
forgot.
pornography connection.
Is that where I put my child pornography? connection?
Oh, what's
Oh God! That goes over my.
is this your condom?
All right, it's sound equipment.
Are you a furry?
No,
Is
no,
the
it's
tail that
it's
you
a
use?
microphone sock that you put
Oh, that's
on
what
a
they call it.
boomstick.
Oh,
Oh no! Shoot! No, a boomstick to record audio.
I feel like
it is a shame that Liz is not in the Hall of Fame, though. Razor Ramon had a great
Liz
point.
and Linda could kind of be like Thelma and Louise.
Oh, God.
Running away
How
from these
much
carny
when they
wrestlers.
were talking about the partying that they did in the early 80s, like, God, wouldn't you just love to be poolside with them?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to have fun because
Hey, who
Randy
would you-
Savage would be staring you down. pissed off.
Isolate both parties of each couple, all right? So you have Mrs. Hogan and you have Mrs. Macho Man on this side, and then you have Hulk Hogan and Macho Man on the other side. Which side would you like to hang out with, socialize with, go to the pool with, have a cocktail with,
I don't
have
know,
a beer
man.
with?
So if I hung out with Linda and Liz,
It would be a regular
Hogan
thing.
and Macho would not be there
Never. Because, no.
because
Yeah.
I'd just be hanging out with
So
them.
you're just like, oh, when we hang out with Bruckner, all right, we do it alone. Or,
And then I'd hang out with the
Terry,
the girls.
right?
I'd
No
hang out
doubt,
with the girls,
right?
yeah.
Easy. Because it would be like you'd probably get in fights, you know? You'd be at a dive bar like every night, which I kind of like, but that would get old real quick. You would
Yeah.
do nicer things if you were hanging out with Elizabeth, you know? You'd be poolside. You'd be sipping on Cosmos. You go to nice restaurants,
Yeah.
you know?
It is a damn shame that she's not in the Hall of Fame, but Tori Wilson
Yeah,
just got in.
absolutely.
That's a joke.
It's a crying shame.
It's a fucking joke.
So if anything comes out of this episode, it's maybe something will be
I
petitioned.
wish they would have gotten an interview with Lex Luger.
Oh, yeah,
They
me too.
really just rake him through the coals.
Yep. All they do is provide audio from Eric Bischoff's podcast.
Podcast.
Where he's like, man,
His
I don't know what the hell
pre-Conrad
was
Thompson podcast.
happening." Yeah, he
Yeah.
came across as an absolute monster, which he is. He's an
Yeah.
abusive monster.
Then I give this episode a 6.8.
I give it a 4. I did like the mention of Macho Man being asked to sign an autograph, and he said,
Oh,
I
yeah.
will if you do well in school. Like, that's an example of a superhero trying to save the world. He's like, I will sign this if you promise me to do well in school. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Lanny Poffo really put him over.
Oh,
Lanny
for sure.
Poffo is like the
He
best
always
brother
does.
you could have.
But don't you like the scene where he pays his respects and puts a flower down at the tree where he died? Didn't they do that in the Macho Man documentary? I think
Probably.
they reenacted the
They
same
really,
exact thing, and that's
I
a
was so
WWE
surprised that
produced documentary.
They were able to get all this WWF footage too, man. I thought this was going to have no WWE footage at all, but they have tons of it.
Yeah,
They
this
had the
is-
whole snake bite scene. So they're working in conjunction with them, but they're still doing these kind of
Yep.
cheesy reenactments.
That brings us to episode 2, the Montreal Screwjob. You and I both know every single thing about this.
I want to just say,
I believe
let's just have this
75
out.
to 90% of the people
and
listening to this
we'll-
know 100%
We'll
of
never
every...
speak about it again after tonight.
I've already said that. Okay, fine.
We have to talk about it again.
I didn't.
This
Okay,
is
there's
the
one thing I
last
didn't
time.
know. There's actually 2 things I didn't know. I didn't know that Stu had like a wrestling bear that lived underneath his
Oh, I
floorboards.
knew that.
I didn't know that. How? So he went full cardiac in Canada.
Yeah. Well, you got to draw people to the.
But I didn't know. Like I
arena
didn't
every
know.
weekend.
I mean, I think I heard the lore of that, but I didn't know there was an actual bear that got in the ring.
Yeah, you got to read Bret Hart's autobiography.
And I didn't know. Yeah, I should. I've been holding that off long enough. Does it come in audiobook with him narrating it?
I don't think he narrates it. I actually got the ebook and it's on my phone. I wish there was a way I could share it with you, but I don't.
I'll
think-
just get it.
I don't
I'm going to
think
get
there
out.
is.
You're right. You're right. You've mentioned that book quite a bit. I do need to read. I owe it to him. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, and he's my hero.
Yeah.
He's my hero. You know, his attack at the freaking Hall of Fame really bothered me.
Oh God, we haven't even talked about that.
Because he was fine, obviously. I get
I
this text
almost-
from you
I
like
almost
some
cried.
monster. His hair was a little disheveled, and I just like, that's my dad, or I felt like that's
no,
my.
I really felt
What?
like somebody hurt a member of my family.
And seeing that guy getting cold cocked, man, like punched multiple times, just
It
felt
restored
good.
my faith in wrestling because it's
Absolutely.
like there's still old school elements to this. Did you see? I like watched. It was like reviewing the JFK assassination tape.
Oh yeah.
I was just watching who's hitting the guy. That's Davey Boy Smith Jr. right there.
Yeah. I was fortunate that you sent me like the best of
Travis Brown.
I didn't have to seek it out because you just sent it to me. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
These are the best. This is the best aerial coverage and stuff. And it's like, yeah, in a Rastafarian hat.
Oh God! And then there were all these. There were all these memes of when Homer rushed the stage at the U2 concert.
Yeah, with the Rastafarian.
They're like, don't worry, folks. They'll get him the help he needs. And then he's backstage just getting beaten up.
Yeah. So there are two things. There's that, the wrestling bear, which I now I think about it, I did hear of, but I didn't know it was actually a performing bear wrestling. And that Razor thinks it's all a work. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that.
Okay, here's one thing that I took from this, from both episodes, actually. I hate Scott Hall. I'm so sick of him.
Huh. Wow.
Don't like him.
Interesting.
Always in, like, why do we even need to hear from him?
Oh, I love hearing from him because I thought he was on death's door 5 years ago. That it's nice that he's looking good. He looks healthy and he's sharp as a tack. I like his voice. I think he has very interesting opinions.
Why does he always have the friggin'...
Did you think this?
He's always making fun of people for being marks. He's like, it's a work. It's a work. You're a mark.
Do you like his?
But the fucking guy's always got toothpicks in his mouth.
Do you think
he's a mark for himself?
Do you think his shoot podcast promos when he shoots on other wrestlers, which are very common for him and Kevin Nash? Who do you?
I like Kevin Nash better.
Yeah, I do too.
Kevin Nash he's
honest.
He's got his
he's
sense
funny.
of humor. He likes red wine. He likes a good steak.
You see the one where it's like, who's a dick and who's not?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's a dick. Like, oh, my brother, love him. It's like, oh, he really means that. I don't know.
I just don't like.
I liked Scott Hall in both of these episodes. I was like, man, he looks good. He looks good because he was so bloated, and I felt, and Jake Roberts looked good, and it was, again, it's just like, thank you, DDP. Like, I love you. You are an angel. Bang! You get 20 more years of life, and that's the, gosh. There was a time I thought I could do impressions, really.
There was a part where the narration talks about the fourth wall had to crumble. I thought that was very effective. And then I realized,
good
Bret Hart,
narration by Zeb Coulter.
Bret Hart was a wrestler that could never survive in the post-wrestling environment because he put so much emphasis on the story told in the ring, and eventually the story being told in the ring was not relevant so much anymore.
Yeah, right.
And he couldn't survive in that environment.
And what an interesting
sad
point from Cornette.
Cornette was the star of the show. He was great.
Because he's had to tell this story over and over. How many times have you told the story? But it's like, I'm on camera now. So he's saying the same things that I already heard him say, but in different ways. And his energy was consistent. And man, I love him talking shit on Vince Russo, man. He always wins and makes when they cut right to him like, maybe he's just too old. He's used to Tennessee in the 70s.
Bro, this is the 90s,
like, I'm going to piss on his grave, and my wife has signed a document. It's like where I have to piss on this because I know I'm going to outlive him because Anger's a greedy motherfucker or something like or that doesn't make sense.
I did notice that Bret kind of changed the story a little bit. It was always like...
My point. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. I went on a tangent there. But bringing up Jim... Don't look at me like that. I let you have your house back, all right? Cut me some slack. How interesting, because it tied into the last thing you're saying, that despite his Bret Hart's upbringing and his traditional values, now that he's like wrestling no longer exists in the ring. The story isn't here anymore. It's around the ring. So he's the one that exposes the business. He's the one that breaks kayfabe because he's so alienated and afraid. He's like, this isn't my world anymore. So I'm going to tell you everything that happens, Yeah. And he was like, what do you think Stu was thinking? He was probably like, what's wrong with you?
I feel like Stu probably thought like it was one of the
it's over. So
he just, I'm sure he was devastated.
yeah, absolutely. He's going on CNN.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but I'm sure he was devastated that happened to his son. And he's probably glad that, someone didn't shank him in the showers.
Wow.
I think Stu really loved Brett more so than any of his other shitty sons. He really cared for Brett, and I think that's why Brett had so much success.
Yeah. No, he loved Jim Neidhart. He loved. So he was like, because you're my son, and Jim Neidhart was like, and you're my lover. Ah. What a creep.
Jim Neidhart?
Stu Hart.
Stu Hart?
Yeah. Monster. Right?
You think he had like an affair with Jim Neidhart?
No. I think he should have. He's obviously he was obviously closeted. Where does that rage come from? Do you imagine like
you think he was closeted? He impregnated his wife.
No.
How many times?
Yeah. Have you seen Helen? I'm turning into Jerry Lawler.
Oh my God. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that Brett kind of changed his story a little bit. The story was always like, he would say like, I'd be proud to put you over
And
for
then
the belt. And then Sean
says,
well, great. I would never do that
not
to
do
you.
the same thing to you.
But
Yeah.
then
I would
in
not
this
reciprocate.
documentary, he
the
says,
exact same thing.
no, he did not. He said that I won't take any liberties with you. I'll be safe and professional in the ring.
Oh.
And then Sean told him, well, I
gonna
won't
break
do that
you.
for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm going to break your back. Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of changed his story there.
Did. He made it a lot more extreme because now Shawn Michaels like, I'm going to cause paralysis,
Yeah,
where it's
I'm
like,
gonna
no,
be
this is just
unprofessional.
Before it was like, this is just storytelling.
Yeah, it's like,
And now it's his body.
I'll drop the belt to you.
Dude.
And I'm not going to drop the belt to you.
Bret
but he
Hart,
kind
man.
of changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
really just the idea of
Interesting.
him forfeiting
Interesting.
the belt the next night on Raw, just the idea that he thought that was possible, that's like, what are you thinking? There's no way that's possible. But then also, Sean did it like twice, but he wasn't going somewhere else. So yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. They didn't bring up
Describing
there's
his-
some big omissions.
All right.
Big omission is they didn't bring up that Brett had a clause in his contract where he gets to decide how he goes out. He gets creative control.
Yes,
on
they did.
his
They
finish.
mentioned that.
They did not mention
Yes, they
it.
did. Yes, they did.
No, they
and
didn't.
they said Vince wasn't able to.
No,
yeah.
they
it was
said
the money. It was the money. They weren't
did
able to
not bring
afford the
up
contract.
the creative control part of the contract. That's a big omission. And he said he was glad to drop it to anybody else. They had house shows before.
Which
had
they
a
mentioned that
pay-per-view
in
after.
Wrestling with Shadows.
He
right?
wasn't even set to start at WCW for like months later. So he could have dropped it a number amount of times to a number of other wrestlers. Nobody ever brings up like he could have just dropped it to Taker, to be honest with you, because Sean goes right into a feud with Taker. They have their classic Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah.
Sean didn't need the belt.
It's
He
all-
would have had like more heat
Oh,
if Taker had the belt, goes into Hell in the Cell with the belt, Sean
It's all ego.
escapes with the belt
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense.
because of Kane, and so now he's like the asshole champion that Steve Austin has to dispatch.
That's why it.
It would have worked out great
That's
if he
why
would have dropped
the
it to Taker.
conclusion of this erupted like it did, like a volcano. It's because of the male ego. Like it was just like on a whim, Vince came up with this idea and was like, no, this is my idea and this is my company. And it's like Bret Hart, no doubt, came up with incredible scenarios that would not compromise the business, would make him look, maybe not even all that great as a heel, incredible heel. The belt's yours. I'm not bringing the belt with me.
But they always push the narrative.
it was
like,
the idea,
he was
no,
going to take it to the other show.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
they
is
always push that bullshit narrative.
Yeah, I know. interesting point about Bret Hart, man, that he mentioned like physical harm instead of the storytelling, because I thought he came across great, and I didn't pick up on that though. Because he's my hero.
Well,
he's
I
my hero.
really-
It's just like the way like the sound of his voice does something to me. Like it's like I just listen. I've never like not listened to him talk while he's talking on television, or promos. I'm always like, oh, and then I listen.
Is there any hero you can have that isn't somewhat flawed?
No, absolutely not.
So I mean, he's flawed.
Of course,
And I think-
and look at the environment he's in.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling,
And I used to like
breeds monsters.
I used to like fight with my mom about this because my mom was like, he should have dropped the belt. Like I watched Wrestling with Shadows when I was a kid with my mom.
Lourdes,
and
come
she
on!
was siding with Vince.
I was
like, what? How could you, Mom?
Wow. My
How
mother.
could you?
Sorry, Lourdes, you're hearing this. My mother not only taped Wrestling with Shadows for me because I was out at a ball game or something. We watched it together, and her initial response, of course, she loves Bret Hart, was that Vince McMahon is a real motherfucker,
She said that,
or something like that.
but she said that really because she loves you and she knows how you feel about it.
I don't know. You know my mom, and you know she loves Bret Hart.
My mom always sides with management.
Wow.
She's a hardcore Republican through and through.
I would love to have this conversation with her. It's obviously not fresh in her memory, but I understand. I get both sides.
Bring it up.
Next time I see her.
next time you see her,
bring
bring it
but,
up.
Does it fresh in her memory? Because has she seen it since watching that?
I'm sure she
documentary?
still remembers it because it's like all I talked about
Because
for like
you know
a
what?
year.
Like part of
when
me,
it
there's a
happened.
big part of me that's just like,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. But she doesn't know the whole story, and that's that's Ken Griffey Jr., man. That's Mike Trout. That's my father and Bret Hart. Yeah. Hey, I just put Mike Trout in there. Not Mike Trout, not yet. But you'll make it maybe when I'm 54.
I saw this billboard, by the way, when I was driving by Angel Stadium on my way to work, and it had like Mike Trout, and it just said like loyalty.
Oh God!
And I was
terrible.
like, they gave him a shitload of money.
Yeah, I'm
like
sorry.
I'd be loyal too.
For
Loyalty.
$798 million.
If they were like, here, we're gonna give you $200,000 a year, and he stayed, I'd be like, that is some fucking loyalty, man.
for being the highest paid
Yeah.
player in the history of the game.
I don't care about the Angels, but I'd be
broke
loyal if
400
I
now,
got that
people.
money.
Or 300. Wait, what was the contract? 350?
You're the fan.
Was it 450? Yeah, that's embarrassing. Did you see his post game? Or no, sorry. All right, we are editing this out.
I'm not going to.
Please.
Cassie.
Okay. Just can I like put I wrote a little conclusion.
All right.
To put a little bow on this. I've heard it all. I never really want to hear this story told again. After all these years putting my emotions out of this story and focusing on the facts, it's clear that it's about two prima donnas who were dominating the business, and one of them had to go. If they both would have been professional, this never would have happened. They both suffered greatly, and it is sad that only one of them was able to get redemption. That's my conclusion. Also,
Beautiful.
I'd really like to see a documentary about wrestling with the point of view of Vince Russo and the point of view of Jim Cornette.
Oh God, yeah.
And how those two points of views differ. That
Wow.
would be a great documentary.
Amazing. Well said, man. My button is that it's Mike Trout's contract, 12 years, $430 million. So I'm sorry, I'm not thinking straight. I flipped the 3 with the 4. Loyalty. Loyalty.
Thank you for
They
that.
have the dumbest. Like LA billboards are better than Orange County billboards.
Loyalty. I give this one a 7. I liked it slightly better than the Randy and Liz one.
I give it a 5 because the best footage here is from Wrestling with Shadows, and it was cool that
Yeah.
they had the sound guy. They interviewed the sound guy from Wrestling with Shadows.
Honestly-
when he had that mic'd segment with Vince McMahon. It was like some undercover
The most I've learned
informant type shit.
about it was from the Laps fan. Plug to another podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to
But
their
that's
whole
not-
series on the Montreal Screwjob. They cover
course.
like basically the entire year.
Of course, it's breathtaking. This is 44 minutes though.
Yeah, they have the time, but they really, they go into all of the dirt sheet reporting. They go into Brett's book, Sean's book, everybody's perspective on it.
So you can make your own opinion.
Yeah, and I really like the conclusion that I gave you. I really came to that conclusion after listening to that podcast because I got way more other points of view, and I didn't see everything through Brett's perspective
Absolutely.
as much.
And you kind of came to that conclusion
prejudice.
last podcast though, because you had mentioned like, I just wish, and I could see it in your eyes. You're like, I just wish the Montreal Screwjob never happened.
Me too.
Because it's the worst side of Bret Hart.
Yeah, I agree with me. Me too. What the hell am I saying?
Hey, asshole. I'm just repeating what you said.
Oh boy.
Did I already give it a 5?
Yeah. No fun facts. We'll be doing next
Part 2.
episode, Bruiser Brody and the Von
There
Erichs.
you have it.
I'm Ryan the Muffler Bruckner saying they used to call Dusty's sister Federal Express. Did you know that? When she went out on a date, absolutely, positively had to be there overnight.
And I'm Mike Big Tobacco Ryan. To you, my fans right here across the United States of America, to you, I apologize for nothing.